Hello everyone, I'm the Sports Wiz 101, and today I'll be giving you my picks for Week 15 of the NFL season. So I'll be predicting all of these games set to take place in Week 15, and if you noticed, no buys this week. In fact, no buys for the remainder of the season. All 32 teams, I should say, are set to play each week of the season, which means we will have 16 games each week. So let's get things started here as we look to bounce back from a 7-6 week last week. Let's go ahead and start with the Sunday afternoon games. First, it's my Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. And this is a game where if the Chiefs win, they officially lock up the AFC West title. It'll make it a perfectly even split between the four teams in the West. All four of them will have won the AFC West the exact same amount of times. And here, call me maybe a bit crazy, but I'm going to make this my lock of the week in favor of the Chiefs. I just don't see how Houston is able to win here, especially against a Kansas City team that tends to fare at its best when the opponent's passers are not that good, and they kind of have to be one-dimensional and depend on their run game. And that's a phrase I think really shows what Houston is. A team that kind of has to depend on their run game. Give me Kansas City there. Next up, Patriots Raiders set to take place in Vegas. A potential big game for the playoff picture. Raiders trying to fight off a potential playoff elimination. I don't think they're going to do it. Give me Bill Belichick to win over his former assistant Josh McDaniels in that one. Titans and Chargers. I'm going to call this my upset of the week. Give me the Titans to win this one. And it mainly comes down to the fact that the Chargers struggle against the run, and the Titans run the ball really well. I think Justin Herbert, if he has a big game, the Chargers could absolutely win this game. It's not the game I'm most confident about picking the way it is, but it is my biggest upset I'm picking this week. It's my upset of the week. Give me the Titans, probably one of the best rushing teams in the league, to go into SoFi and beat the Chargers. Moving on, we got the Steelers taking on the Panthers as we continue through the Sunday afternoon games. I feel like this is a game that could go either way. Pittsburgh could very well be fighting for their playoff lives here. Carolina trying to stay in the NFC South race where they actually control their own destiny. And I think Carolina wins this game thanks largely to their defense. I think their offense will be a more effective unit than Pittsburgh's offense. Give me Carolina there. Next up, Dallas Cowboys travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. After what the Cowboys did last week against the Texans, after what the Jaguars did against the Titans especially, this isn't as much of a gimme as maybe it looked like a week or two ago. But still, I think Dallas should be able to win this one over Jacksonville. Next up, this could be a potential big game, especially for the playoff race between the Lions and the Jets. That is a sentence I'm actually saying this late into the season. Here, give me the Jets. I think they're able to slow down the Detroit offense enough to get the win. So give me New York to win that one. Cardinals, Broncos, Arizona has lost Kyler Murray for the season for an ACL tear he suffered last Monday. They now go to Mile High, one of the best home field advantages in the NFL, taking on a Broncos offense that quite possibly looked the best they've looked all year in their loss last week to Kansas City. That being said, I think Denver takes that one. And then we have Cincinnati at Tampa Bay, a big-time game in the late afternoon slot. But I just don't think Tampa Bay will be able to keep up with the Bengals. Give me Cincinnati in that one. Moving on, we have the Eagles taking on a Bears team that is coming off of a bye. Give me Philadelphia there. They have just looked way too impressive for Chicago. I don't care that the Bears are coming off of a bye here. This is a game that the Eagles should very easily win. Falcons and Saints going at it. Both teams coming off of a bye. Both teams trying to stay alive in the race for the NFC South. And New Orleans especially trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Here, I'm going to take New Orleans. That Superdome is where this game will be taking place, and that is a big home field advantage for New Orleans. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at all the other games set to take place. We have the Ravens and Browns. This will be Saturday afternoon. And the Ravens could quite possibly have to play their third-string quarterback in this one. I think Deshaun Watson, he's kind of had his fair share of struggles in his 2 games with the Browns. But nonetheless, I do think that he does just enough to get the Browns the win over the Ravens. Kind of shakes up the AFC playoff race from there. Then we got Saturday night. The Dolphins travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. And for Buffalo, you win this game, you basically put the AFC East on ice. Kind of like how Kansas City put the AFC West on ice with a win against the Chargers a few weeks ago. So you got to think Miami going to be kind of in desperation mode. But I do think teams have started to figure out the Miami offense. And if Miami can't score on you, I don't think they're going to win. Give me Buffalo to shut down the Dolphins and pick up the win in the cold. Moving on, another Saturday afternoon game. This will be earlier on in the day than the Ravens-Browns game. This is Colts and Vikings, Minnesota. They struggled last week in a loss to the Lions. They're taking on a Colts team, now coached by Jeff Saturday, who is coming off of a bye. And this game may be a bit closer than the talent would suggest, but I think Minnesota finds a way to get another victory. Moving on, Thursday Night Football, Seahawks hosting the 49ers. If San Francisco wins this game, they lock up the NFC West. It's not a Bills put the AFC East on ice, they all but lock it up. No, 49ers officially lock it up if they beat the Seahawks in Seattle. And you know what I've seen is that you look at Seattle, they once had a great home court advantage or home field advantage, but I just don't see that same home field advantage anymore when it comes to Seattle. I think this game goes to the team that's very clearly the better team, and I think that team is the 49ers. They lock up the West this week. Moving on, Sunday Night Football, it's the Giants and the Commanders, a huge game in the NFC wildcard race. The Commanders coming off of a bye. Their last game was against these same Giants. That was the game that ended in a tie. And I think the Giants will falter down the stretch, and that starts, maybe not starts here, but it will include a loss to the Commanders. So give me Washington there. Monday Night Football, it's the Rams and the Packers. Green Bay's coming off of a bye. And let's be honest, Rams, even when they're good, have always seemed to struggle at Lambeau Field. I don't see it going any differently here against a Packers team that's going to be kind of desperate to make a run towards the playoffs, but give me Green Bay in that one at Lambeau Field. So there you go. There's my picks for week number 15 of the NFL season. If you like this, please like and subscribe for more to come in the following weeks. I've been the Sports Wiz 101, and I will see you all later.